Life has a way of testing us when we least expect it. Sometimes the weight feels too heavy, and the road feels too long.
Your setback isn't the end of your story, it's just the setup for the greatest comeback of your life. Today, we're talking about the power of standing back up when the world expects you to stay down.
Every fall has a beginning, a moment when life shifts, and everything feels heavier than before. Sometimes it's show, but the impact always feels the same: unexpected, painful, confusing.
You ask yourself, how did I get here? A question every human asks when life knocks them down. The truth is, falling is part of the journey. No one rises without first learning what it means to hit the ground. In school, it might be failing a test you studied hard for, a moment that makes you question your ability. At work, it might be a mistake that shakes your confidence, a reminder that perfection is impossible. And with dreams, the fall often comes as silence. No progress, no results, no signs of hope. But here's the part we rarely talk about. The fall isn't just physical, it's emotional. It's the moment your heart whispers, maybe I'm not enough. A whisper that feels louder than reality. The anatomy of the fall begins with shock, that first hit that takes your breath away. Then comes doubt, the quiet voice asking if you should even try again. After doubt comes fear. Fear of falling again, fear of being judged, fear of repeating the pain. And finally, the hardest part, silence. The world moves on, but you're still trying to understand what happened. But here's the truth. Falling doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. Every champion has fallen. Every leader has stumbled. Every success story has a chapter of pain. Ask yourself, what did my fall teach me? What strength did it reveal? Because the fall is not the end. It's the beginning of understanding who you really are. Think about your past falls. You survived them. You grew from them. You learned resilience. You learned patience. You learned courage. The anatomy of the fall reveals something powerful. You are stronger than the moment that broke you. You didn't stay down. You didn't give up. You didn't surrender. And if you rose before, you can rise again. Ask yourself, what if this fall is preparing me for something greater? Every fall exposes your weaknesses, but it also reveals your hidden strengths. Every fall breaks your comfort zone, but it also builds your character. Every fall tests your spirit, but it also awakens your purpose. So don't fear the fall, understand it. Because the anatomy of the fall is not about the pain, it's about the rise that follows. And this is only the beginning. The moment you decide to rise again, the moment you attain the power of not giving up, there comes a moment in every struggle when you realize something powerful. Staying down is a choice, and so is rising. It doesn't happen loudly. It doesn't happen dramatically. It begins as a quiet shift inside you, a whisper that says, I can't stay here forever. This is the moment you decide to rise, not because the pain is gone, but your purpose is greater. Maybe you're tired, maybe you're scared, maybe you're unsure, but something in you refuses to quit. That something is strength. Not the loud kind, the quiet, unshakable kind. The decision to rise often begins with a question. What if I tried one more time? One more step? One more attempt? One more breath of courage? You don't need to know the whole path. You just need to take the next step. Because rising isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Think about school. That moment you failed, but chose to study again. Think about work. That moment you made a mistake, but showed up the next day anyway. Think about family. That moment you were hurt, but chose to forgive. Think about your dreams. That moment you felt stuck, but refused to let the dreams die. These moments weren't accidents, they were decisions. Decisions to rise. The moment you decide to rise is the moment your story changes. Not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because you become stronger. You start to see possibilities where you once saw problems. You start to believe in yourself again, even if it's just a little. You start to rebuild slowly, quietly, intentionally. And with every small step, you rise higher than before. Because rising is not a single moment, it's a series of choices. Choices to keep going. Choices to keep believing. And every choice builds a stronger version of you. So ask yourself, what is one thing I can rise from today? A fear, a failure, a disappointment? Whatever it is, you have the power to rise above it. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Because the moment you decide to rise is the moment your comeback begins. The climb up doesn't begin with strength. It begins with a decision. I'm not staying down. It's not glamorous, it's not easy. It's slow, uncomfortable, and often lonely. But every climb starts with one small step, the step that says, I'm trying again. You won't feel ready. You won't feel anyway. Because the climb isn't about perfection, it's progress. And progress, no matter how small, is still movement toward your comeback. Think about school. You failed once, but you opened the book again. Think about work. You made a mistake, but you showed up the next morning. Think about family. You were hurt, but you chose to rebuild the relationship. Think about your dreams. You felt stuck, but you refused to let the dream die. The climb back up is built on these moments. Small victories that no one sees. Moments where you push through doubt, fear, and exhaustion. Moments where you choose discipline over comfort. Moments where you keep going, even when progress feels invisible. Because the climb is not measured in leaps, it's measured in steps. And with every step, something inside you changes. Your confidence grows. Your resilience strengthens. Your purpose becomes clearer. You start to realize, I'm stronger than I thought. A climb back up teaches you patience, because growth takes time. It teaches you humility, because you learn from every mistake. It teaches you courage, because you face your fears instead of running from them. And it teaches you gratitude, because you appreciate every small win. The climb shapes you into someone who doesn't break easily. Someone who doesn't quit. Someone who rises again. So ask yourself, what step can I take today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because the climb back up begins the moment you stop waiting and start moving. No matter how slow you go, you're still rising.
And every step forward is proof that you're not done yet. Rise again. The climb is hard, but the view from the top will be worth it.
There comes a moment when listening isn't enough. You must decide to act. Because nothing changes until you change. Nothing moves until you move. Ask yourself, what have I been putting off? What dream have I been delaying? You already know the answer. It's been sitting in your heart for a long time. And today, you're being called to rise, not later, but now. Take one step, just one. That's all it takes to begin a new chapter. Send that application. Start that project. Make that call. Try again. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing. Because willingness is the spark that ignites transformation. Think about your life. How many times did fear stop you? How many dreams did you shrink because you doubted yourself? And how many opportunities passed because you waited for the timeline? But here's the truth. There is no perfect time. There is only now. And now is powerful because now is a choice. So choose to rise, choose to act, choose to believe again. Your future self is watching you, hoping you don't give up, hoping you take the step that changes everything. And when you do, something incredible happens. Your life begins to shift. Doors open, strength grows, confidence returns. Not because the world changed, but because you did. This is the power of not giving up. This is the power of rising again. And this power has always been inside you, waiting to be used. So don't hold back. Don't hesitate. Don't doubt your worth. Now breathe. Look at how far you've come. Look at the battles you survived, the storms you endured, the pain you overcome. You didn't come this far to stop now. Your story is still being written, and the best chapters are ahead. So rise again. Rise with courage. Rise with purpose. Rise knowing that every setback you've survived has prepared you for this exact moment. You are not the same person who fell. You are wiser, tougher, sharper. This is your turning point. This is the moment your old limits break. Stand tall, because the world is about to see the version of you that refuses to be stopped. Because when you choose not to give up, you become a force that nothing can hold down. Your past can't stop you. Fear can't stop you. Doubt can't stop you. We're rising into a future built by your own strength, your own resilience, your own fire. This is your comeback. This is your rise. And from this moment forward, you walk like someone who knows they were born to win. So brothers and sisters, this brings us to the end of today's version of my motivational message. Rise again, the power of not giving up. Kindly subscribe, comment, like, and share for more. Thank you.